Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here from QBKing77.com, here with my first check-in video in my iPhone 6 Plus 2-week challenge series. So, of course, you saw the first one announcing the challenge. It's been 3 full days. I got a full weekend using this device, and a few things. First of all, I'm not going to jailbreak it. I keep getting people messaging me about it. I'm not going to jailbreak it. This is not my iPhone. I'll be giving it back, so I'm not going to make modifications like that to someone else's phone. Also, no, it has not bent, okay? And I don't think it's going to. I don't think you have to worry about that. Those were just kind of minor cases. I'm sure they got fixed. And no, it hasn't bent. Do not worry about that. And also, I still am using it. I've still survived the challenge after these 3 full days. And I've been texting on it, sending emails on it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get a closer look at the device now, and I can give my hands-on and first impressions. Alright, so let's start this first check-in video. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure, when they first had their first impression videos or anything like that, they wanted to talk about how big the screen was, especially because this is the biggest iPhone that they have made, the biggest screened iPhone. For me, it's not that big of a deal because I'm so used to using these big screen devices such as a Nexus 6, a Note 4. This is not new to me at all. So, I mean, the screen is large, yes, of course. In my opinion, it's probably a little bit too big. I said that about the Nexus 6. I said that about the Note 4, just in a personal opinion. But yeah, so the screen is large, but that's about all I have to say to it. Now, that being said, Apple has tried to make ways so that you could use your phone with one hand much easier. If this was my device, I would just throw a flag grip on it, but it's not. So certain things that Apple has done is you can double tap the home button, not double press. You don't double click it. If you double click it, it gets you to your recent apps. You double press it, and it will drop down apps. It'll drop down basically any screen you're in. So if you're in this dialer and you can't reach those top keys, you go like this. Kind of a pain, honestly. It doesn't solve the problem of using your phone with one hand, but they have made that option. And also, I do really miss a back button. A lot of people say, oh, you can just swipe from the left, but that's not always the case. In some apps, yes, you can, and it's really nice. So let's say I'm in general. Oh, I didn't actually mean to go into general. Instead of having to go all the way up in the upper left-hand corner, I can swipe from the left and go back. However, there's cases where that's not possible, actually, if ads pop up or certain things happen in other apps that aren't stock applications. It just kind of gets tedious having to go all the way in the top left corner to press that back button. And again, it is nice if they could implement that swipe from the left back gesture on everywhere. That would be perfect. They should definitely think about doing that in the future. It's just a pain not having a back button. Now let's go ahead and talk about the design. So first of all, it's a very well-made device. You can't deny that. I can really appreciate the engineering of it and how well it's made. It's very thin as well. I still can't get over how thin it is. It's great. Also, the lightning cable is fantastic just because you can put it into the device either way. I cannot wait for micro USB to catch up with that. Kind of a shame. It's actually more difficult to find lightning cables because they're kind of expensive, actually, so that's kind of a downside. But it's really nice that you can actually not have to think about it when you plug your device in. Also, I like the headphone jack at the bottom of the device as opposed to the top, which some manufacturers of Android phones have been doing. But overall, it feels good in your hand. It has a very well made, however, it is slippery. So that is the downside to it. It is kind of slippery, so especially with a bigger device to hold, it's a little more difficult to hold, and added slipperiness, it's a little difficult, I guess. So, I mean, it might be more of an incentive to throw on a case. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about one of my favorite features so far from using this device for these 3 days, and that would be the Fingerprint Scanner, which is embedded into the home button. So if I press the power button and put my finger on it, it's going to unlock the device just like that. I've registered 3 fingers right now, so you can go ahead and register multiple ones. I don't know the maximum amount. I'm sure there is a maximum. I would hope it'd be 10, but maybe it's less. But anyways, it's very quick and pretty secure. I mean, I wouldn't say it's maximum security, but what you can do is with your thumb, just press the home button, leave it pressed up against the button, and it unlocks it right away. It's very quick, very smooth. Or, of course, you can go ahead and just swipe to the right and use a passcode if you're wearing gloves or don't have access to one of the fingers you registered or anything like that. On Android phones, I never used passcodes or anything. It was just too tedious. It wasn't fast enough, but The great implementation of this fingerprint scanner has made me use it, which has added some security to my device. If I don't want friends picking it up, I don't necessarily need the security, but since it's so quick and easy that I don't really have any issue with using it at all. So, and it works so well. So shout out to Apple for actually implementing this fingerprint scanner. The only one I've really used is Samsung's with the Note 4 where you had to swipe down on the screen, and it was just a pain. So shout out to the fingerprint scanner. Now let's go ahead and talk about the software and using the device. One thing I do miss is being able to put these app icons wherever I want. So let's say I want to put Passbook in this bottom right corner. I can't. They all have to be pushed up in order, as you can see. Just a minor thing. It's tough not having an app drawer. I mean, all your apps there. It kind of forces you to use more folders. So you'll see one of the first folders I did make was this Google folder. So if I open it up, you'll see opening a folder gets rid of any icons in the surrounding area, which is kind of a pain. Just in general, just for one reason, the main reason. Let's say I go to this Google app. If I go to the Google app and I press the home button, it brings you back to the folder, which is kind of strange. If I press the home button, you would think it would go home, but if it goes back to the folder, then I would want at least those 4 dedicated app icons down at the bottom still. Just kind of a minor gripe. Again, personal preference. You might like that, you might not. But you'll see Google folder, you can have those there. I just dropped that down to my app icons, so it just kind of forces you to use more folders as opposed to just having an app drawer and all your main used apps on the home screen. Overall, though, using the device, I will say it's very smooth. It's also very basic, as opposed to all the customizations you can make. So if I go ahead and go and swap between apps, it's fairly quick. You double press the home button to get to these recent apps, and also this is really cool. So if I have your recent contacts up here, you can go to one, you can either call it or send it a text, and it's very smooth, it's very quick. So if I go to this message, you'll see right here, he says he wants to hear about CES. It went right to it, and I didn't have that open for a long time, and that's just double tapping the home button and going to those recent apps. So that's really cool. Honestly, I really like that feature, and also multitasking is very fluid. So again, I really don't want you to think I'm going to be hating on this phone. There are things about it that I like as I'm noticing right here, but there are things that I don't like, however, so we can get to that. But like I said, it's very smooth, very fluid, but it's also basic. Like I said, there's not very many customizations. However, let's go ahead and get into notifications. So notification icons, I kind of miss a lot. There's no icons up at the top. If you get a text, an email, anything like that, if you want to check your notifications, you can pull this down and you'll see you have notifications right here. I do miss it. It's a little bit different. However, the pop-up notifications work better on iOS, I should say, including the text messaging one. The text messaging one is amazing. So let's go ahead and show you that. Alright, so I just texted myself, and you'll see a pop-up comes right here. You swipe down, and you can automatically reply right away without leaving the specific app you're in, and that's really nice. Honestly, it's embedded into the stock messaging application. Really quick, really easy. I think Google should take notes with their stock messaging app and make it a little better and easier to quick reply from the specific notification. Now, something that's kind of goofy is that the home launcher actually rotates every way, including upside down, and that's kind of dumb. I don't understand why they included this, just because pretty much no app works upside down. So you'll see, I'll go to the phone dialer, you have to flip it around to use it. The only one that I could find that actually worked upside down was the settings app, and that was it. So I don't really see the reasoning behind it. Kind of goofy. They should definitely get rid of that. Makes no sense. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is sharing, and it's kind of a joke actually. If I go to photos, click on one of these photos that I took this one today, and I want to go to share. You press this icon down here, and you can only share in certain apps. They don't allow sharing to all applications. So if I go to more, these are the only ones that I can share to. I have a Gmail application that I want to share things with. I have other applications I'd like to share pictures with, but I can't. It's kind of weird. I just don't get it at all. Apple kind of screwing you over with something like that, where you can't choose your specific app that you want to share these pictures or whatever you want to share with within that specific app. But anyways, that's really all I want to share. As you saw, good things, bad things included with this phone. Again, that's only after 3 days, so more to come. I still have to talk about camera, battery life, so many more things. So I'll be doing another update video. If you want to see maybe a video camera test, I might upload one of those. Leave a comment on what you want to see. If you have app suggestions, anything like that, happy to hear from you guys as always. If you give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe as well so you're notified when I do upload those future videos. Like I said, they'll be coming throughout the week, throughout the next couple weeks, a little less than a couple weeks now. But anyways, that's about it. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Happy to hear from you guys. Also, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, especially Twitter. I've been doing either more incremental updates, not just video updates, but just posting certain things about the iPhone, etc. So follow me there. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate the support.